Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the motherboard or logic board, whatever you want to call it, on this Lenovo ThinkPad P51. So we're going to first close this up, pop out the battery, so slide this to the unlocked and then slide it all the way. It pops up and you can pull that out. Battery, if you need to replace it, there's a few part numbers on here, but probably searching P51 battery will probably be the best, but you can see those model numbers there. Okay, let's set that aside. Next, we're going to open the bottom cover. We do want to verify and make sure that the motherboard looks exactly the same. So let's go ahead and get all these screws out. All right, I think they actually stay attached to the bottom cover. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, let's go ahead and continue getting this out. So you can see the clips just pop out like that from pulling in this little gap. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so we can somewhat see a little bit. There's 2 RAM slots here, there's M.2 slots here, there's more slots here for other SSDs. I'm going to have to cut this packaging open and see what we got here. Okay, so let's cut this open. Okay, cut this open. This bubble wrap together. I guess they bubble wrapped it on both sides. We put multiple bubble wraps on here. Okay. Here's the motherboard. Okay, so it's all wrapped up like this. And let's see. So if we line this up, 2 RAM slots. Okay, here we go. Peel this out. Take a look. Alright, there we go. And let's get this out. Okay, so here we have the 2 RAM slots. You can see all the other stuff. So it looks like they provided everything. They even gave this, which I don't know why. We don't need that. But anyways, we're going to set this aside. And then we'll go ahead and proceed to remove the motherboard. Okay, so let's set that up here. Okay. So it looks like there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to remove to get this keyboard and everything out, or the keyboard and the armrest. Oh, I just realized this piece just snapped off. What? Okay. So I'm going to see if this can be glued in there. How did that just snap off like that? Interesting. Alright, so we're going to get some super glue and we're just going to stick that back together. I know this extra steps are not necessary to show because other people aren't going to have this same issue, but I'm going to show it anyways, just in case for the customer. All right. Okay. So, get some super glue there. Okay. We're going to stick these two pieces together. Put it on upside down. Okay, and then stick that on. Hold it for about 30 seconds because super glue takes about 30 seconds to set. Sorry, I know this is boring. You can just fast forward over this part. Hold it for 15 more seconds. A few more seconds. Okay, there we go. It's holding together. Wipe off any excess glue if there is any. Okay. All right, we'll set that aside. I don't know how that thing snapped, but okay. What else? We got a bunch of screws here that we're gonna have to remove, and we're gonna have to remember where they came from. So let's go ahead and remove all of those. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pair and I remove them. So we got one there. Then I'm going to put these just in the same row. We got these two. Okay, wow, this screw is super long. It's also skinny, so keep that in mind if you're removing these screws. Okay, again, you don't want to mix them up because they can be different size, shape, and lengths, and again, mixing them up can cause damage to your computer. This one's also pretty long and skinny. Okay, got another one in this corner over here. Okay, so we got those four. Then we're going to go over here. This is a keyboard screw. Okay, so I'm thinking that you can remove the keyboard from the top. There's another screw here for the keyboard. And another screw here for the keyboard. Alright, those three are, well, I think they're about the same length as the ones that were back there. Okay, and then we got these two screws down here. All the way over here. Okay, we got these. Oh, I guess we can remove the SSD ones. There's one here. I'm gonna actually put that. Should I put that separate? So once you remove that tray, can we pull this? No. Okay, so we're gonna have to remove the SSD first, I think. Let's see. How does this work? How does this tray work? Oh. Never mind. You gotta lift slightly up and then it comes out. So I don't know if we had, I don't think we had to remove the SSD screw. So we'll put this one back in. And let's actually test that real quick. So can we get this? The SSD slot is actually under the motherboard. Yeah, okay. So we don't need to remove the SSD screw. You just gotta lift up slightly and then pull back, and there we go. SSD is removed. Another screw here for the other SSD slot that's not being used. Okay. And the reason it has these connectors, I believe, are if you put like a 2.5-inch SATA hard drives in both slots. It looks like there's a screw that was hidden underneath there. Okay, make sure you remove that. Oh, the reason why it's stuck is there's a thermal pad under there. Okay. Alright, and we got another screw over down here. Okay, and two more screws in the bottom corner here. Actually three, all the way along the bottom. We got one here as well. And then a third one here. Alright, now we got all of those out. Let's see. Charge port connectors there. I'm not sure if we need to remove that first. Let's see. Some designs you have to pull up the palm rest assembly and everything first. So let's see, we removed the keyboard screws from the bottom. Does this slide at all or move? Okay, it looks like the keyboard slides up. It looks like somebody tried to pry it and damaged it, but the keyboard slides up this way. Then it lifts up, and then we can pull it this way, and then we can kind of rotate it this way for you guys to see. There are these flip latches here to remove the keyboard. So flip that latch and this latch, and then you can go ahead and pull these cables out. All right, and there's the keyboard. Keyboard model information. There's some there, and there's a part number right there. So if you want to see, you can check those. All right. Okay, give me a second because I'm getting some messages. I'll be back. All right, back. Let's zoom out here. So this is actually a somewhat complicated repair. There's a lot of pieces that need to be removed. So yeah, if you're gonna work on this, keep that in mind. All right, so we gotta disconnect this. What is this, a fingerprint reader? Looks like. Okay, we're gonna grab this little tab here and pull that up. Okay, I think this actually stays attached to this, so we don't need to worry about it. We're gonna flip these latches. Let me zoom out here. Or sorry, zoom in. Okay, we're gonna flip this latch up and flip this latch up. Okay, after you flip those, you can pull these cables out. You might have to pull up slightly because there are little wings that catch on those pieces there. Okay, so we'll pull that up and then pull that. Wait a minute, this is a fingerprint reader. What is this other thing? Color by, is this like a light sensor? I don't know. Anyways, we got those disconnected. You got the wireless card over here. We're gonna have to remove the antennas. White antenna goes to the white arrow, black antenna goes to the black arrow. I just go underneath the tail and then pull straight up, just like that. Okay, and you can see the antennas came out. Okay, and we're probably gonna have to end up unrouting all of this, but we'll see. All right, we got this little connector here, which I can't really tell what it's going to. Maybe a microphone or something. Oops, sorry. So we got that. I'm gonna get my fingernails and just wiggle that. And then we got this connector as well. We're gonna get that out. All right, so get in there and wiggle that. There we go. Actually, this is going into this piece, huh? Okay, I think we disconnected everything. Oh, there's one more here. We do need to disconnect this cable as well. All right, pop that out. Okay, let's see what else needs to happen. So we're gonna zoom out. And you can see we can kind of lift this up. It looks like there's adhesive holding this, so you want to be careful not to tear that cable. I'm going to grab this and slowly, carefully peel it. I'm trying to keep it flat, so we're not like going to tear it, but I'm pulling it this way as I kind of pull up. You can also put some isopropyl alcohol to help with that. Okay, but there we go. Peel that out. Let's go ahead and lift. Oh, this cable's held in as well, so grab that and peel that up. Okay, there we go. Slowly, carefully pulling this up, and you might have to wiggle this a little bit. It's kind of caught here. Let's see. Are we missing anything? Okay, that popped up. There we go. So you kind of have to kind of rotate it like this to get the clips to unpop, unlatch. Okay, this side is kind of stuck for some reason. Is there a screw there we're missing? I don't see any screws over there. Huh. So I'm not sure what's going on with this corner here. It doesn't want to unlatch. Oh, there we go. Okay. And now we can go ahead and get this out. So there we go. There's those sensors and everything. I'm going to set that aside. There's a lot of components. All right, so next we're going to have to, it looks like pull the whole screen out. Maybe what I should have done, oh, I see. So this cable is for the power button. What I'm going to do, let me plug this cable back in, and then I'm going to press and hold the power button to drain any residual power. Okay, so get that back in, and we're going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. Since we're going to have to disconnect the screen and everything, it's always a good idea to hold the power button for at least 15 seconds after removing the battery to drain any residual power. Make sure the capacitors aren't going to have enough voltage to fry anything, right? Hold it a little longer just in case. Excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect this cable. And we'll set that aside again. Okay. So we got all these cables. It's kind of a pain to disassemble this thing. but it is what it is. We're gonna have to just unroute everything. Okay, there's this adhesive holding it. That's fine. We're gonna leave it because we're gonna just put it back, and we're gonna unroute all these cables here. Okay, so get all these cables out. All right, get that out. There's the LCD LVDS connector here. All right, the way I remove these is if you can't just pull straight up, I get my fingernail under a side edge and I help pull it up just like that. Okay, we got the other one over here. Okay, I'm not sure why it has so many connectors, but we got this one. You can pull that one up as well. Most likely the camera and the screen and other components. Are there screws on the back of this one? There might actually be. So this laptop actually has some beefy hinges. So there's these little covers here. We're gonna have to peel those up. Let's see, okay, so there we go. Peel that off. And we're gonna have to get those 2 screws out. Okay, that one and this one. All right, then this side as well. Get that little plastic cover off. All right, and we'll get these 2 screws out. Also, the screws towards the outside of the laptop are a little bit longer, so don't mix them up, all right? The ones towards the middle of the laptop are shorter, so these outer ones here, so this one towards the outside of the laptop is longer. Okay, there we go. We'll rotate this back over. Set that screw aside. Okay, then we got some more screws here holding the screen in. We're gonna remove those as well. Okay. And same thing, the outer screw is a little bit longer than the inner screw. That's if you happen to mix them up. All right, but if you mixed all your screws, I don't know, good luck. There's a lot of screws. Okay. All right, there we go. And let's see, now I think we should be able to pull the screen up and out. Let me zoom out more here. Oops, too much. All right, so let's see, can we lift this out? Is something else still holding it? Oh, actually, does this come out separately? I think these hinge covers come out separately. Let me set these screws aside. Okay, and let's see here. So, yeah, you can see these hinge covers come out separately. Also, this is like that. This might be a little tricky. How do we get this out? Okay, so pull this up. All right, so it goes straight up. You do need to pull the screen a little bit far back. Okay, there we go. So push on this to pop it up initially, and then you can kind of get underneath here to help lift it. And you just, like, let's see, wiggle side to side. How'd I get the other one? So it's being a pain. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got those 2 out, and oh, okay, now we can lift the whole screen out. There we go. Be careful, don't let the cables get caught on anything. And we'll set that aside. Okay, so now we got the whole screen out. Oh, one of these little plastic thingies kind of came out. I think that one went there. It's not, those aren't really important. Anyways, let's see here. Any other screws we need to remove? It doesn't look like it, except maybe this one. So let's go ahead and remove this screw. It's a lot of screws, I warned you. All right, we're gonna slide this over and pull that out. And okay, so this is actually 2 more sticks of RAM. So this laptop has 4 slots for RAM. You didn't have to take the whole screen and everything out, but you did have to take the keyboard out to get to this, to these 2 slots of RAM. All right, so keep that in mind. It looks like there is 1 screw on the side here that we do need to remove. All right, and it's pretty long and also skinny, so yeah. All right, let's see if we can lift this up now. Carefully kind of wiggle this. Oh, there's 2 more screws down here. Okay, don't miss those. I was wondering why it wasn't coming out. All right, so we got those 3 screws out. Those are shorter and wider screws. All right, so now you can see we can lift this whole thing up and the speakers come out with it. You can remove the speakers. There's a screw here, and then you can actually pull this out. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that as is. We're gonna set that aside. A lot of layers to this thing. I don't think the replacement came with, yeah, it didn't come with heatsink, right? No. So we're gonna have to redo the thermal paste for the GPU here and the CPU, okay? You can see GPU here, CPU here. All right, so let's go ahead and continue getting everything apart. So we're gonna have to take this card thing out, obviously. Okay, let's see here. Fan connector, let's go ahead and disconnect that. Zoom in here for you guys a little bit. All right, I just get my fingernails in there and wiggle to pull that out. And we'll zoom out again. Let's see what's holding the motherboard in place other than the heatsink. So there's a few screws here. We are going to have to compare both motherboards side by side to make sure. You also have these that we need to transfer over. But right now, I think there's just this one screw holding it in place. Let's see. Okay, so one motherboard screw. Anything else? Let's see. Can we lift this at all? There's nowhere to really grab. So let's see from underneath. Maybe we can push from the RAM slots here. No. I don't want to push too hard and damage anything. So underneath here, you kind of have access to the RAM slot. So I'm pushing up on there, and it did fall out a little bit. Is there another screw somewhere here I'm missing? Oh, the other thing, we probably need to disconnect the charge port connector. So let's get that. So there's the charge port connector here. We'll grab this tab, and you kind of just wiggle side to side as you pull, I think. And yep, that came out. All right, it's pretty cramped, but there we go. Okay, you can see it's falling out now. So I think that alone was holding the whole charge port, or the whole motherboard in place. All right, so I'm gonna grab here and see if we can lift. Yes, we can. All right, and you wanna be very slow, careful to pull this out just in case anything's caught. And that's what it looks like. So we got the whole motherboard out. We are gonna have to migrate all the components over. The charge port, that's a very messed up design, Lenovo. You see that? They put a screw under there to hold the charge port in place. So if you wanna replace the charge port, you gotta take the entire thing apart. At least you can test the charge port by disconnecting this cable and plugging in another one easily. But to actually replace it, you gotta take everything out. That's messed up, really messed up. All right, so here we have the motherboard, and I have a customer calling me right now, so give me a second, I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So we have the motherboard. We are gonna have to remove the heatsink here. So these are numbered. There are 8 screws. You don't technically need to remove them in order, but usually I like to kind of slowly loosen each one first, instead of pulling them like completely out at once, because otherwise if 3 are down and 1's up, it's going up at an angle like that and it can put strain on it. So usually I will take them all out slowly, all at the same time, just unscrew a little at a time. Okay. There's no specific order, just keep doing that. All right, and you'll know it's out because when you unscrew it, let's see if you hear it, you hear that click? Okay, you'll hear it click like that. And that's how you know the screw's all the way out. Okay. And we are gonna have to redo the thermal paste here. Okay. All right, so we should have them all out. Again, make sure the 2 fans are disconnected, and hopefully we can carefully lift this up. If it's stuck, don't yank too hard. You don't want to bend the heat pipes here. It will help to kind of pull from these solid parts here. Okay, and there we go. If it still doesn't come out, you can kind of rotate it a little bit to get that out. And here you can see the heatsink and the thermal paste and thermal pads here. I might actually transfer over the thermal pads from this one to the new one. All right, it's a little bit dusty. I don't want to blow this out while it's like that, because then the dust will all go onto these heat pads or thermal pads. So we're gonna leave that like that for now. let's go ahead and grab the replacement board and see what we need to move over. So here you can see they have these thermal pads already here. I'm going to peel these off and just stick them over here because I'm going to use the ones that are already on there. Okay, because these are probably not as good. These are actually, why are these so thin? So these look to be a bit thinner. So we're going to migrate that. Oh, there's one thing I noticed. The GPU on this one is different from the GPU on this one. I'm not sure quite exactly what GPU this one is, but hopefully it'll work okay because I couldn't find any other motherboards. We'll see. Their computer kept randomly freezing, so hopefully swapping this over will fix that issue. Okay, and we're gonna peel up the thermal pad from here. Okay, and I thought these were exactly the same, but I guess I was wrong. The memory looks to be about the same. The GPU die is different. This is an NVIDIA N17P-Q1-A2. I don't know what the actual model, I guess we'll find out when we pull the other one out. I did match the CPU, I think they're both i7s. Okay, some of the thermal paste was there, so I was scraping that up. Alright, what else we got? The wireless card. Okay, I'm gonna put the new board here. Okay, and these are old laptops, so actually it's not like a brand new board, they're pulled from other computers. All right, so ordered this online, and yeah. All right, we're gonna pull these two tabs to the side. The RAM pops up and it comes out just like that. Also, the RAM, it looks like it was upgraded at one point. This is a 16 gig DDR4 2400. Set that down there. We're gonna pull these to the side. That pops up and we'll pull this out. Okay. Alright, so we're going to get that, and then we're going to get the RAM in. Let me move this motherboard over to the side here. Okay, so we're going to get the RAM in. So goes in at an angle. Okay, and then we're going to click that down. Get the other one, same thing. Goes in at an angle, and then click that down. Alright, there we go. Let's see what else. We have the wireless card. And so we have those two connectors. These all look the same. These two look the same, right? We got that connector. We got those three connectors, two SSD slots. We got that card reader. We got this connector here. And what else? We got that, and I think that's everything. So, all right, so wireless card will need to go. Oh yeah, we also have that little connector there. All right, wireless card needs to be transferred over. Undo that screw. Pops up at an angle slightly like that. Grab that. Okay, I'm gonna set the motherboard aside for now. We're gonna have to flip it over and then check the other side. So we'll get that, pinch that in, okay, and get that into place. And then we'll get that screw in. There we go. Now let's flip the motherboard over. Okay, just like this. We have two slots here and the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery here. And this is under this adhesive piece. It plugs in right there. There's the connector, you wiggle and pull it back. There's also, what do you call? There's a switch here that it knows that the, case intrusion switch, that's what it's called. All right, anyways, you got these two slots for the RAM there. So we're gonna have to pull the RAM out of this one and transfer that over. So I got these two slots for RAM. Pops up. I'll set that aside. All right, so they upgraded their whole computer. I think this is 32 gigs of RAM total. So we got that one as well. Okay, and I think we are actually done with this motherboard now. So we'll set that aside. Okay. And we'll get this in. Goes in at an angle, wiggle, click that down. All right. Same thing with this stick of RAM. Goes in at an angle. Oh, it's kind of dusty here. Brush that off. Actually, that dust stays, it doesn't come out. All right, we'll get that in. Also, if you're wondering, I am keeping myself grounded. I have a metal chair and desk that I'm sitting at, and that kind of pulls a lot of the static and stuff away. So, all right, we're gonna flip this over. Next, we gotta clean the thermal paste off. There's only a tiny bit here. They did a pretty good job cleaning it up before sending it out, but there are little crumbs and stuff here, so I'm gonna have to kind of clean that out better, and I'm gonna use a toothbrush to kind of get the rest of the stuff out there. Okay, so ahead and kind of brush this off a little. Just a little bit between the little capacitors and stuff on there. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this over a trash can and brush it out so it doesn't end up all over my desk. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner now. We are going to have to clean up this as well, so let me switch their places here. Okay, we're gonna have to clean the thermal paste off of the heatsink. And I have a customer messaging me right now, so I might have to pause again. But let's clean this stuff up. Okay. The paste actually on here was not bad. It was pretty liquidy, so that's good. That means they got good cooling. It's not overheating or anything. Okay. After cleaning it off, I'm going to get some isopropyl alcohol, put that on the paper towel, and I'm going to clean it some more. Okay. And clean that some more. Try it off. Alright, there we go. Nice and clean. We'll do the same thing with the CPU and GPU dies here. Okay. And then I need to respond to my customer real quick. Alright, so we'll put a little, again, little isopropyl alcohol here. If you're wondering where I got that bottle, I actually bought some ink refills for an inkjet printer a long time ago, so I'm not sure where you can get a similar bottle, but I guess you can look for like syringes or something. That'll work fine. Okay, clean that off, clean this off. Alright, and I'll blow away any lint with this. Alright, give me a second. I gotta respond to my customer. Then we're gonna put some new thermal paste here and reseat the new heatsink, or replace the heatsink. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back, and after doing some quick research, this N17P Q3A1 chip is an NVIDIA Quadro M2200, and then the other one is a NVIDIA Quadro 1200. So one's 2200M and the other one's 1200M. So this is the N17P Q1A2. This is the 1200M, which sadly appears to be about 25% lower processing power. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I mean, it should be better than it randomly locking up and freezing. And again, I couldn't really find any other boards for this, so it is what it is. It's either that or the whole computer needs to be replaced. So we're going to be applying new thermal paste here. And because these are both little square CPU, GPU dies, we just need to put a blob in the center. And you don't need too much. You might think you do, but you don't need that much. We're going to put a dot like this right in the center. And the CPU, GPU, the heatsink will actually push it down and spread it out super flat, super thin, to where it'll spread across the entire thing. So the CPU one is a little bit like rectangular, so we're gonna basically put very similar amount, and then instead of putting it a straight like circle, we're gonna kind of widen it a little bit. All right, so there we go. Okay, and again, the pressure from the screws pulling the heatsink on will flatten this out, and will make it super thin, and yeah. All right, so there we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so here you can see how we have the paste there, and then the paste over here. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out and get this stuff back into place, the heatsink. So we're gonna flip this back over. right, and you want to line everything up. Make sure to line up the screws. Okay, and drop it in. All right, so they are actually numbered, so you can see there's a 1 here. What I like to do is I'm going to twist it backwards. I'm pulling up the motherboard a little bit. Okay, you hear it click. Once you hear it click, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we got the second one over here. Same thing, twist backwards. Click, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we got the third screw. Click, 1, 2, 3. Then the fourth screw. Click, 1, 2, 3. Then we got the fifth screw over here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Sixth screw over here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Seventh screw over here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Eighth screw here. Click, 1, 2, 3. All right, then we're gonna go again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that went actually in. It might not. We'll find out. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. All right. Then we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one tightened all the way. So we'll tighten all of them all the way. 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, all right, and number 8. There we go. All the screws are tightened into place, all right, and it's still a little springy, as you can see. So yeah, I thought it wasn't going in all the way, but it's just because of the spring. So there we go, and it's going to slowly pull, and the paste is going to spread out like this. Okay, we can actually go ahead and reconnect the fan connectors here. Okay, so go ahead and get that lined up and push that in, and get this one lined up and push that one in. Okay, so there we go. Oops, sorry, I went out of view, but we pushed that fan connector in as well. Okay, if you want, I guess, does this need, no, we'll put that in last once we get it back in the case. So let's go ahead and get the base here. Okay, if you wanted to remove the charge port, there's that one screw. I might as well show it since we got this far. Okay, then this metal plate can come out just like this, and then the charge port can come out just like that. Okay, yeah, once you get the whole motherboard out, then it's really easy to replace this charge port, but getting to it is a pain. All right, so we're gonna slide this in. They really designed this so that people that don't open up computers are gonna be like too scared to do any of this. All right, even people that do work on computers, they'd probably be scared of doing this because it's a lot to pull apart. All right, we're gonna flip this back over. Let me actually zoom out here. All right, so we're gonna flip that over. Oh, am I doing this upside down? This goes this way. Okay, so this goes this way. We do need to slot this in first here. Okay, so we're gonna slowly, carefully get that in here. There are raised bumps here. Okay, so that you can align the motherboard. Get that lined up. Slowly lower it down. There we go. Okay, we have this card little thing. We'll put that back in. Let's see, which way did it go? This way, or is that upside down? Okay, there we go. So we got that in. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the motherboard screw back in. That was down here. Okay, so I think that was the only motherboard screw, honestly. And I need to get some thumbnails here because I've been skipping all the opportunities for thumbnails. There we go. Okay, let me zoom out a tiny bit. Okay, and oh. Okay, so there we go. Next, we're going to put this cover back on with the speaker. Okay, lower that down. Make sure everything is good. All right. Looks like this fan is kind of like bowing up. Is it bent on something, or is there something caught underneath, or is it just bent slightly? And it doesn't feel like something is caught underneath. I think it's just this is kind of like bowed up. I didn't pay attention when removing it, so I don't know if it was like that before. Hopefully, I mean, these are all tightened all the way, so you can't really do anything about it. And the board is all the way down. Okay, the charge port's not underneath it. All right, we can plug in the charge port first if you want. You don't have to, you can actually plug this in last, but pull that and get that in and pull that back into place. Okay, there you go. All right, yeah, I don't know why this is up like that, but once we get everything back in, it should help pull it back down. Okay, so let's get this back in. Oops, that's a, wait, that should be right. Okay, there we go. All right, next thing we got, there were the 2 screws down here. We're gonna get those 2 in. Okay. Then we had the longer skinny screw up here. We'll get that in. All right. We'll get this metal plate that was covering the RAM slots back in. So it goes like this, and then it slides over, okay? And then we'll get that screw in. Okay, I don't think we had to remove this plate actually to lift this whole thing up, but if you were changing the RAM, you can lift that up and get to it. Uh-oh, somebody left me a voicemail. Give me a second, I'll be back. Got some customers calling. Oh, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and continue this reassembly. So we're gonna take the screen, okay? Get this back into place. Oops, we tilted it, excuse me. We tilted it back, so it's tilted like this. All right, and then we gotta get the screws back in. So what did I do with my other screwdriver? There we go. Okay, so we have the bigger, longer one going out here. Just like that. Same thing with this one. All right, then we're gonna get these cables pushed down into place. You can actually reconnect everything if you want. Line this up. Okay, and then click that in. All right, got the wireless antennas here. And these weren't connected to anything, but we're just gonna kind of route them over. Okay, just like that. Then we can go ahead and get this little metal plate cover, put that back on top. Get that screw in, just like that. All right. Hopefully that's in right. It looks a little bit crooked, but it looks it's in right. Okay. Then we got this. We got to get this to go underneath these. Okay, just like that. Go under here. Okay, get that to go under there. Got all that back in. We're gonna do this other side as well. Get this over here, get this lined up. these tucked in. Oh, I probably should have tucked these in first, because these go under here. Okay, just like that. Right. Sorry, it's garbage collection day, so this in. Make sure this is all in place. Get that down. Get this screw in. Okay, get this all into place, get that down there, get this tucked out of the way. Alright, so it's black and white wires come back over here, and they need to plug into the wireless card. Let's actually tilt this up. Zoom in here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this in. Up. And click that down. Okay, you need to kind of rotate it so it's not sitting on top of the screw, otherwise it won't go down all the way. Then we got the white antenna as well. Line that up. Come on. No, line that up and click that in. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out. Reconnect some more stuff. We have this connector for the speakers. Get that in. Okay, we do need to put the other hinge screws in, so we'll go over here. Again, the longer ones go towards the outside. Get that in. Okay, other one. Get that in. Right, make sure it's nice and tight. Then put the little sticker tape thing back on top. Alright, got the other ones here. Let's get that in. Again, the short one goes towards the inside, closer to the middle, and then the longer one goes towards the outside. Okay, and we'll get this and stick that back on. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and open this back up. And let's get the plate back on top. So we've got this, right? It needs to slide in. So it slides in like this. Alright. And then we gotta click this all down. Okay. Let's actually check in the back to see if it looks okay. Alright. So you want to make sure all of this is lined up. It looks good. Okay, work your way down the fronts and everything. Okay, we'll get these reconnected. So let's see here. It can be a little tricky. It helps to use the little tab here. Okay. Get that in. Right, slide your finger over to latch it down. Don't use a tool. This one in. It's hard to see while I'm recording overhead. Get this guy in. There we go. Oops. Okay, slide your finger over. Right, we got this little guy here. Lines up. And push that down. Okay, after you do that, you can go ahead and stick all of this down. Okay, were there any screws on this side? I don't think so. Oops, sorry, was I out of view? Wait, oh, I was out of view for this. Sorry about that, but basically we just line this up and then push that down just like that. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, hopefully I got everything else in view. All right, I don't think there were other screws. We do have the power button here. You want to make sure to plug that in or you're not going to be able to turn your computer on. Okay, push that one down. What else do we got? Yeah, I don't think there were any screws on the other side. There was this plastic tab, but it's probably going to just fall out if we put it back. I think it was here. Oh, actually, it holds okay. With the keyboard on top, it'll probably be good. So we'll just leave that there. Okay. Right, were there any screws on the other side? We got 1, 2, 3. Let me see here. So if this goes in that way, nothing uses that screw hole, so it uses that one, and it uses this one, and it uses this one. So these 3 screw holes get used, this one doesn't. I think that's all the screw holes I see on top. So yeah, all right, let's get the keyboard and stuff back in. So you just line it up like this, grab this cable. Let me zoom in for you guys. Okay, get that cable in. And then slide your finger over to latch it down. Same thing with this. All right, get that, slide that down. There we go. Okay, let's zoom back out. So to get this back in, you slide the top in first, just like this. Then you push this down. While you're holding this down, kind of grab in like the little holes and slide this, okay? You do have to push down a little to get these little feet to go in. And then we gotta slide the whole keyboard. You can kind of like slide the whole thing like this too, I think. Yeah, whatever works, but slide it down. Okay, close this up. Flip this back over. We're almost there. Let's get all these screws back in. Okay, quite a few screws. Hopefully you had it laid out in a way that you can get it back in right. So let's see, we had, hopefully I get this right. All right, I think we had one here. Okay, then we had this one here. Why is it? Okay, that one there. We had this one that was hidden underneath. We have the SSD here. We'll slide that in. Oops, upside down. Why am I putting it upside down? Okay, the SSD. Slide that in. Make sure it clicks into place. Get that screw in. Okay, then we got all these other screws. We got the 3 down here. Almost there. So yeah, get all these screws back in, and that's pretty much it. We'll power it up, make sure everything's working. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Again, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. But yeah, other than that, just got to get all these screws back in. We'll put the battery powered up and see what we got. All right. Again, sadly, the video card is not as powerful, the one that we found. Hopefully the customer won't be too disappointed in that. If we do need to find like the same GPU, we'll probably have to keep searching, and the part will probably be quite a bit more expensive. But other than that, yeah, let's get all these remaining screws back in. This one up here. Super long screw. Jeez. All right, I think that one probably also holds the top piece in place, the one that slides out from under the screen. All right, this one here, because these screws are super long. And then the last corner over here. Alright, let's get the bottom cover back on. Okay, this side goes in first, then we lower it down at an angle. Tighten that. Again, I like to turn the screws backwards to hear it click into place. That helps you know that you're getting it lined up right and it's not going to strip the screws. Okay, just like that. Okay, and we got the last screws up here. Alright. And this last one here. Oh, there we go. There's some clips there that weren't going in place. Alright, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and get the bottom cover back on. Also, the keyboard has a drain port here, so if you spill stuff in the keyboard, just lift your laptop up and let the keyboard drain. Don't try and flip it all over the place or the liquid can go on the inside of the computer. Alright, so you put the bottom in, click that down, make sure it's locked in. Let's flip this over. They wrote the specs on a sticker here, which, so I can actually see, and yeah, it's different. We're going to power it back up and we'll see. Alright, so I did see the keyboard come on. It's flashing on and off. I don't know if you can see that. We'll see what happens. Hopefully everything is okay. I do see the power button light is on. Why is it still off? I did click in both LCD LVDS connectors. So we'll see what happens because it's staying black right now. Sometimes if it doesn't power up, it could be the RAM is loose or bad. So you might want to check that. But let's see. Sometimes also it takes a while to come up. I do see, oh, there we go. It took a while. All right, so we'll give it some time. And then since there's new, okay, the BIOS and stuff got reset. I don't know if the battery is dead on the new board or not, but they might have just reset the BIOS. So we're gonna check, we'll turn it off and then we'll see what happens if there's any change. Okay. Alright, it's restarting itself. Yeah, so the BIOS reset itself. So it's saying to check the date and time. I don't know what date and time it is right now. Let's see, January 23rd, 12:42. Okay, January 23rd. So we got, let's go backwards. 23rd, 2024, and then it is 12. Okay, this is 24-hour time, so 12:42. Let's get rid of a few seconds here. There we go. All right, and then let's exit saving changes and restart, and hopefully it'll boot up just like normal. So they had like the hardware stuff here. They wrote 1 TB NVMe, this, but yeah, the SSD is different. So I don't know. I'll have to see what the customer says because I don't think we can get the same exact motherboard. But yeah, we'll let this finish starting up. I think they were also running Linux on it, so let's see. Hopefully it boots okay. If not, they might have to do something to repair the boot. I remember it had Linux and then they like force shut it off. So I don't know. Is it gonna come up? It was running Linux. It's doing so. Oh, there you go. Okay. So it should be good. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And again, if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, again, it'll help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna restart their computer one time, and yeah. All right, let's drop this. Bye.